There were two sets of Benghazi talking points, not just one. And everybody's looking at the wrong set of talking points and misunderstanding the process of what really went on. That's what I'd like to talk about today. This was research largely done by Eileen, my wife, and it's extraordinary. When you put all of the events together that we now know about, there was the CIA talking points and then the White House political talking points. And they were developed separately, and they had very different content. We didn't know about the White House talking points until last week, when Judicial Watch's subpoena and court suit finally forced the State Department to release the memo from Rhodes to Rice. Ben Rhodes, the White House staffer, Susan Rice, the UN ambassador, who then appeared on the Sunday talk shows. That memo, which was fairly extensive, outlined the talking points that Rice should use on the Sunday shows, particularly focusing on the idea that she should emphasize the internet video as the cause of the attack of the demonstrations, rather than that it was a terrorist attack in the first place. Now, before we knew of the existence of that email and those second set of talking points, everybody was focused on the CIA talking points. That's what we called the talking points. And they had Mike Morell, the deputy director of the CIA, appear before a congressional committee, and they went after him about how the talking points were watered down. But no matter how watered down, they did not mention the video. There was no mention of it in the talking points. And in fact, when the congressman asked Morell, what was your reaction when you heard Rice blaming the video for the attack? He said, well, that wasn't something that the analysts had concluded. And he was quite surprised that she'd done so. They had not even really much considered the idea that it might be a video, and in fact they knew that it was not. Right after the CIA put the finishing touches on its talking points, their own operative, their deputy secretary of state, spoke to the Libyan ambassador, who said flatly that there was no movie demonstration going on. It was a terror attack from day one. So those are the CIA talking points, and that's what all of the hearings have been about. Now we need an entirely separate investigation of the White House talking points, and those were developed without any input at all from the CIA. They were conceived and developed, as far as we know, by Ben Rhodes, who went on to become Deputy National Security Advisor, a post he now holds, and they were circulated throughout all the political people in the administration. And the whole thrust of that was to blame the internet video. In our lunch alert 2 days ago, we indicated that Hillary had prepared her own talking points 36 hours earlier that included verbatim the same language that Rhodes included in the talking points he handled to Rice. And one important question is, how did it get from Hillary to Rhodes? There's no email, there's no letter, there's no paper trail that's been revealed in the subpoenas by Congress. Now, if there was that, they're concealing it, and that's something I hope Trey Gowdy looks into. But the more immediate point is, how was this White House version of talking points about the video developed? Forget the CIA. They had nothing to do with it. The intelligence community did not believe it related to the movie. They didn't even consider the movie. Now, Obama says that he based everything he said on the information he got from the intelligence community. Well, there's a very simple answer to that. Get the president to reveal the daily intelligence briefing that he received the day after Benghazi and for the next 5 or 6 days. Let it go public. Just like when we questioned George W. Bush about how he ignored signs leading up to 9/11, Bush released all of the intelligence briefings he got and got roundly criticized because on July 20th, Condoleezza Rice warned him that they were picking up signals of the threat of hijacking airplanes in the United States. Nobody mentioned the idea of using the plane as a weapon, but still it was something that Bush should have acted on and didn't. Well, it's time for Obama to reveal that, because we clearly know that the CIA was not the source of this. So where did he get his intelligence from? And the answer will probably be from no place, that this movie video was conceived out of thin air, either by the White House or by Hillary, one communicating to the other, and both of them adopting this rationale because it was in their political interest. Obama so he could get reelected and pretend that his killing of bin Laden had ended the threat of terror and ended al-Qaeda, and Hillary to escape blame for failing to beef up security at the embassy, for cutting this manpower guarding Stevens in half over the month before the attack, and raising questions about what the CIA was doing in Benghazi in the first place, and why troops were not sent to reinforce them. Those questions all become much more serious now that we know it's an attack rather than a video demonstration. So just go through your mind and make a mental edit of everything you know about Benghazi and the development of the talking points and the pushback on the word terrorist, and it became extremist, and the talk about what was actually said. Was al-Qaeda mentioned? Why wasn't it? That's all the CIA talking points. That had nothing to do with what Susan Rice said on the Sunday shows, President Obama and Hillary Clinton said in the Rose Garden, or 2 weeks later Obama was still pressing in his address to the United Nations. And please circulate this video. This is a point the mainstream media is not making, and frankly it's not even in the cable stations either. Newsmax TV is covering it, but nobody else is. And circulate this widely, because it's very important that we understand that, to understand the next steps in the Benghazi cover-up investigation. Thanks for watching.